All right. This is something I did not get done this week.
Trying it on the actual page.
Yeah. I did not get a chance to do this, which kind of annoys me. There we go. Put some Creed in there, baby.
That's why I just kept the same song every time.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta stay consistent. I love the hatred on the host of our video. I love it. That shit gets me so fired up.
But do some apologies this week.
I ain't apologizing to nobody. I had one good week.
All right. We are off. Okay.
Powered by Riverside FM.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cott, and alongside of me this week, Jake Belts, as usual, my co-host. What's up, Jake?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. We had a new intro.
Yeah, we did.
Had a
Took
new
me
intro.
for a loop there for a second.
Yeah, definitely had a new intro. Now Riverside, I guess, did an update, so I guess our old intro is nowhere to be found. But hey, that's in the past. Whatever. Man, oh man, woo! First time at Darlington this year. Did not disappoint.
It did not. Took the words right out of my mouth. It did not disappoint.
That to me, Darlington, in my personal opinion, is probably my favorite track on the schedule.
Yeah, it's one of my
lo-
top favorites.
I love where the track is absolutely located. I think it's a lot of fun. It's old school NASCAR, and for me, I like when when the guys just rip around the high line. I really
Oh,
do.
yeah.
And when we talked to Stephen Malazzi about a month ago or 2 months ago now, God, what was the hardest track that he ever drove on? He said it was Darlington, and he basically described it. It's like it's just old, it's hectic,
Mhm.
but that's what us fans want in this sport, right? We want old, we want hectic, and all that type of stuff. This week, NASCAR had the 750 package on the Darlington racetrack, which I thought it was fun. I will say I was a little disappointed with the tire fall off.
Yes.
I thought they would be slipping and sliding a little bit more. I thought we would have a little bit more of tire issues later in the runs, but we didn't really see that this week, which I
No.
was kind of disappointed with. But God, so many hot topics coming out of Darlington. Really, we're going to be talking about all of it tonight on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast, and of course, we're going to be talking about Tyler Reddick. Right, that's going to be the main focus of conversation. 4 out of the first 6 weeks, he's won a race. That is incredible.
It
Absolutely
is.
off to one of the hottest starts probably we've seen in a very long time. And listen, we'll talk about it when we talk about Reddick, but keep this in mind, folks. Drivers get on hot streaks in seasons. They just do. We saw it with Kyle Larson back in 2021. We saw it with Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt. Many drivers have won multiple races over the course of a season. This is not something new. There is no conspiracy, so we're not going to be dealing with that shit tonight on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast. We just aren't.
Yep.
So, Jake, first things first. Again, if you're listening to us live, thank you so much for tuning in to us tonight here on YouTube Live and Facebook. If you love what you're hearing, follow us on Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast, YouTube at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. And then if you miss our live streams, feel free to follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We'll definitely be talking, all the episodes brand new, up to date. Feel free to chime in. Again, if you're listening to us live, we have the Blown Engine chat line wide open. Any topic of conversation tonight that you want to chime in on, feel free. We want to hear your opinion. We want to hear your voice from this past weekend's race at Darlington. If you're pissed off, hey, do it, right?
Yeah.
If there's something that we say, we'd love to have a conversation with you on air. We are the voice of the fan of NASCAR. So, Jake, we're going to start off with that. 2 show announcements real quick. First things first, if you were listening to us live last week, we made the announcement. We will be back at Pocono this year. June 14th, race weekend. We'll be having our yearly Broken Wheel Bearing podcast tailgate before the race. So we'll be putting up more details on that, on how you enter our tailgate. Love to see some of our fans with us this year as we enter Pocono race weekend. Also, last week we kind of teased it, Jake. We are doing another show on the road. And it's officially confirmed we will be heading to Richmond, Virginia, the week of August 15th for the Cookout 400.
Yep.
First time you and I have ever been to Richmond. So this is gonna be an awesome time down at that Commonwealth, man. I'm so excited. So multiple opportunities to see us live. We'll be at Richmond on August 15th. That's officially announced. And we'll be up at Pocono. So come join us both times for our tailgates and live episode from the track. So more details to come as we get closer to those race dates. So also tonight, we've been doing it for the past month. We're going to be doing a koozie giveaway to our fans. So if you're listening to us live and you want to win a koozie, we'll be giving out 3 questions. 3 during the episode. How do you win a koozie? Well, first thing you got to do, A, listen to the question. B, if you have the answer to the question, be the first one to chime in on the Blown Engine chat line. And the first one that answers the question correctly, we'll be shipping out a koozie to you later this week. So, again, we've been doing koozie giveaways now for a month. If you love the show and you love listening to us, again, we'll be shipping out koozies left and right to all of our fans. So when you go to the racetrack, plenty of opportunities to support us. We would love to have your support at the racetrack. So thank you so much for all of our fans and the loyalty. We want to get back to you. And each and every single week, that's how we do it on this show. And then obviously another chance each week is our Thirsty Thursday Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast question of the week. You got to answer. We'll send it out to you as well. So multiple ways to win koozies this week. So Jake, let's head into some of the news coming out of the Darlington race weekend, week number 6 in the books, clearly. Let's start off
fast, man. He's slow the hell down.
I know. I mean, we're talking about Pocono, we're talking about Richmond. We'll be at those tracks very soon, right? Soon. Time is moving so quickly. It's crazy that this year we started off with the tracker, right? Week number 6 down, week number 7 down. And it just makes the season feel so much shorter than what it is. Maybe we stopped doing the tracker because it's kind of getting depressing all bit here. But couple news coming out of the Darlington race weekend. First things first, talks in the garage. NASCAR's considering additional horsepower at the larger scale tracks, aka the 1.5s. So they're looking at Charlotte, Kansas, Las Vegas, adding the 750 package. And I made a mistake last week, folks. I said they ran the 750 at Vegas. They did not. I apologize about that. But they're talking about adding the additional horsepower at the tracks coming up in the future. Not in 2026, but most likely in 2027. Second update this week. Tyler Reddick, 23XI Racing, they're closing in on a contract extension. Perfect time for a contract extension with driver of the 45, isn't it?
Yeah, fits perfect.
Fits super perfect.
And we were talking about earlier, man, if they didn't do anything this year, maybe that seat would have been open.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a logjam in Toyota coming up in 2027 if this contract goes through. I mean, if you're 23XI, you can't let this guy out of the building at this point, right?
No.
You got a driver that's going from a star level talent to an elite level talent at this point. I mean, I don't know if there's a driver that's better than him in the sport at this moment.
No, I can't argue that.
I mean, where's my conspiracy theories at? Right? Tinfoil hats on, baby. Put them on for Tyler Reddick. So that's update number 2. And then update number 3, we got the Nelson ratings from the Goodyear 400 this past Sunday. The Goodyear 400 drew a 2.43 million viewership on FS1. Unfortunately, that was a 3% down from the 2.517 from last year's Goodyear 400 race, but that race was ran on Mother's Day. And in comparison to the race weekend last year, we were at Homestead last year, and they were down 1% in viewership from that race weekend, where Homestead totaled a 2.4 million viewership in that race weekend. So not the numbers we really wanted to see, but hey, listen, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of time. I mean, NASCAR, I keep telling people, folks, NASCAR's back. It's been a lot of fun so far to start the season off. We got the 750 package back on the shorter tracks. We got the chase back in the playoff picture. Come on. Continue pumping up to those numbers,
Yeah.
folks. Okay, so those headliners were, again, courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on Facebook, X, or by web at www.jski.com. Now, the big news coming out of NASCAR today, actually, believe it or not, it happened probably an hour or a couple hours before our show started. And that is award-winning artist Darius Rucker is going to be joining Legacy Motor Club as an investor. Darius Rucker has been involved with NASCAR for a while.
Mhm.
He loves the sport, man. He really does. So he's going to be investing in the Legacy Motor Club. Again, it was announced earlier today. And this article is courtesy of NASCAR.com. Darius is someone who understands the power of connection with fans, with communities, and through storytelling. Legacy owner Jimmy Johnson said in a press release, what he's built in music, the authenticity he brings to everything he does aligns directly with who we are as a club. We're excited to welcome him into the Legacy building and build something meaningful together. That was Jimmy Johnson's statement on the addition of Darius Rucker. Darius Rucker was on the Dan Patrick Show today, and he ended up saying that Rucker also revealed the news on the Dan Patrick Show with host Dan Patrick jokingly alluding to Rucker as now Johnson's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's true.
So a big headliner coming out of the garage. Big investor coming out of 23 or into Legacy Motor Club. Last week we kind of talked about Legacy a little bit about how they're looking to amplify up to 3 cars in the near future. Now they got a big investor in Darius Rucker. Jake, how do you like this move?
No, I like it. I like big name guys that kind of have a following. I mean, he's got a pretty big following in the country music genre. So, I mean, it's like you said, it's like a Michael Jordan. He's got a fan base that he could bring into this. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I like it. I like seeing these, like when Pitbull was involved back in the day and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's good to have these names in the sport. I mean, it's just going to help the sport grow.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And with the investors, I like this move a lot. Even though I don't like Legacy going to 3 cars just yet, I think that this would be a great move if they stuck with the 2 cars that they have. I like the investment just because of sponsorship opportunities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Legacy looks like an organization that wants to take the next step. Even though, again, last week I kind of said that they were kind of too immature to have a 3-car operation. But this could bring more sponsorship opportunities, clearly, right? Darius Rucker is a big voice in country music. He's a very well-known country music artist. Like I said, this is a good opportunity for Legacy, who has announced that they want to go to 3 cars. Hey, you know what? Let's bring another investor in, someone that they could trust as the investor, and that's what we have with Darius Rucker. So, again, like I said, still don't like the 3-car move by Legacy. Still wish they were going to stay the 2, but again, with the investor, they seem very serious on what they're trying to build at Legacy. Now, on the flip side, I know they're very invested in making sure that this program is successful. I just need to start seeing the results on the track.
Mm-hmm.
I really need to start seeing the results on the track.
I mean, throw the results out there and prove that your cars are worthy of an investor. I mean, the investor is just going to be like, I'll take my money and go.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, if you're not successful and you're not putting cars in the top 10, these investors will eventually walk. Now, it's interesting. You brought Pitbull with Trackhouse Racing. I thought Pitbull entering NASCAR was phenomenal. I thought it was energetic. It was exciting. I loved it. Unfortunately, that investment ended up pulling back a little bit when Pitbull decided to leave the sport a couple years ago. But hopefully Darius Rucker's here for the long haul. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But like I said, big news coming out. Darius Rucker will be investing into Legacy Motor Club in the near future. So, okay, that's our news for the week. Let's open up with Darlington. Let's open up with the Darlington race, right? We had the Goodyear 400 this past weekend from the Lady in Black. I'm still not used to us racing at Darlington in mid-March. I'm really not, man. Last couple of years, they were Mother's Day weekend. I loved the Mother's Day weekend. I loved Throwback Weekend. I really did. I thought it was unique. I thought it was fun. Unfortunately, a lot of people kind of felt like it kind of outdated itself. Couple cars did run a couple throwbacks. We'll be talking about that because you had some words about the one throwback.
I did.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
And not a lot of people liked it, and that's what I loved. I love that a lot of people did not like my point, and I will stick on my point. I'll ride that point to the grave.
We got a lot of heat for that video,
Yeah,
by the way. If you're
bring
not, yeah, Jake posted a video on TikTok, folks, about a certain driver on a throwback, and there was a lot of people that were not happy with the comment.
No.
But Darlington itself, like I said, not used to the Smart date. I know years ago when Darlington had 2 dates, obviously before 2004 when they went to California twice. Darlington's first race date used to be kind of this race weekend. And sometimes weather in South Carolina, it gets kind of fluky. This weekend they had absolutely gorgeous weather. It was in the 80s, so you couldn't have asked for a better race weekend. But the one thing is that I'm interested to see if NASCAR sticks with this race date on this weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm curious too, considering the viewership. I mean, the viewership was only down a little bit, but it seemed like it was a turnout day. I mean, it's like you said, you're fighting with weather. You know what I mean? It's the same shit they dealt with Dover for years. They're gonna kick themselves in the ass when they do Watkins Glen as early as it is, but I mean, it's a gamble, man, when you try to come out into the East Coast this early in the year.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, now we're essentially in the Southern Tour at this point. We got Darlington, Martinsville, and Bristol. So I do like how they linked all those races back up together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a great race weekend. Again, if you were living under a rock, we had the 750 package on this track for the first time in a while. And in regards to that, I mean, what did you think of the racing with the 750?
I thought it was an incredible race. I mean, I personally really only feel like 4 guys really showed how fast those cars really are on that track with that package. It gets me, don't get me wrong, I'm horsepower, keep bringing it. Let's go faster, faster, faster. Let's keep doing it. But man, dude, Tyler Reddick, I know we're going to talk about him. When I was watching that car, I was like, I think he ain't even slowing down. I think it was like a rocket ship going around them turns.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit. Like, I love it. And I mean, you kind of seen it a little bit. Like, I feel like there still is issues, and you're seeing it, and you're seeing drivers complain about it because I feel like they're not used to it. So the cars are getting set up wrong. But no, I mean, dude, that race on Sunday was phenomenal.
So a lot of in the pre-race, we heard a lot of drivers talk about it. They're like, we're going to be on the 750 package. It's going to be a warm day, a lot of slipping and sliding, a lot of beating and banging, right? And I necessarily don't think we ever got that, right?
No.
Like, I think the 750 package, I feel like drivers were kind of shell-shocked a little bit to run multiple grooves. Whereas like Darlington, right, you have the low line, you have the high line. You didn't really see a lot of drivers go to that low line. Now, when they did, they basically got just eaten up by the high line.
Yes.
The only thing I will say with the 750 package too, I was a little disappointed with the tire fall off. I thought we were going to have a little bit better tire fall off at the end of these stages, and a lot of towards that mid-stage pit cycle. But at the same time, like, we didn't really see these tires kind of tear apart, which I thought we were going to get.
Yeah.
So kind of managing the tires. Now, I'm sure that the drivers were managing tires. I'm not saying they weren't. But I thought in reality, I thought there would be a little bit more of a tire management issue in this race than what we actually saw.
Yeah, no, I'm not used to them going. I mean, where were they going? 40 laps sometimes?
Yeah.
It's just not what we are used to seeing out of Darlington. And
Well,
I don't know if it's guys just figured out like, oh, I'm just going to go the high line. I mean, it was single file racing, which people bitch about, but
yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because guys just are like, you know what, I'm going to ride the high line. And I just feel like they were getting so much more grip up there, and it was just a lot better on the cars. Like, I mean, you saw a lot of passing in turn 3 on Sunday, where guys would come down, and you would see them like rocket past somebody, then boom, they're right up top. Like, they're not staying down there. But it was a little weird, but I mean, It wasn't like an interesting race that like, oh my god, caution, 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 tire blowout, tire blowout, tire blowout. I mean, I can count on one hand how many tire blowouts there were. And I'm
Yeah.
just not used to that at Darlington, which I'm not upset about.
No. It was an interesting strategy. So, like you said, with the pit cycles, right? Like, I mean, they were really hitting their marks. Like, they were basically making it to halfway through the stage and then
Mhm.
pitting within that, like, I would say 3 laps before the halfway point or like 3 laps after. And then you had Chase Elliott, who was a jackass, and Alan Gustafson, who left him out there for an additional 15, where you're losing track time like crazy.
Oh yeah.
That was, we'll talk about that we'll talk about that later in the show because that burned me up. That burned me up because that run that they had, I was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? But like you said, though, like, I mean, they were really kind of on point with their stops. It was definitely, I wouldn't say synchronized, not like the super speedways, but it was definitely robotic.
Yeah.
And you didn't really have guys that went out there to kind of gamble, -1 driver. Even like a guy like Carson Hocevar at the end of the race, he was the last one to pit before the checker flag. And really, I mean, it wasn't that egregious of a pit strategy. It was just he went an additional 4 laps after the leaders came down. And it really did help him at the end. I mean, with the fresh tires. I mean, he flew through the field.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch that part of it. Unfortunately, with other things that had happened. But no, I mean, I caught a glimpse of it at the end. But yeah, no, I would have been sitting there scratching my head like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? But I mean, just seeing how fast these cars were coming out of pit road, it makes sense. I mean, they were, you were catching people. I mean, and we're going to talk about him all night, but Tyler Reddick, I mean, dude, look at him. The guy was coming out and just like Brad K was running a great race. And this guy's
absolutely
just
phenomenal.
Catching him, dude, in 10th of a second here. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it wasn't a dumb move by Hocevar at all.
No. Well, I mean, the one thing I will take a look at, right, and let's switch over to topic number 1 tonight, or what the second topic. Let's talk about Tyler Reddick. And first of all, the season that he's off to, the start, is absolutely remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to nail these conspiracy theories that, oh, I'm not watching the woke car anymore. They made it back to work. Knock it off. We're going to stop this.
No, this proved it.
And our friend Triova Life said it best. He said, look, I would have loved to see what the internet looked like when Dale Earnhardt Sr. won 4 of the first 6 races back in 87 or Bill Elliott back in 92, right? There would have been conspiracy theories all over the place, right? But Tyler Reddick on Sunday, yes, he's won 4 races to start the season off, and it's off to a tremendous start.
Mm-hmm.
What I've seen from the 45, the last 2 wins, that's Darlington and Coda, is telling me what type of driver we're getting in 2026. They have the speed, and when things go wrong, you can never count out the 45. You can't. I mean, to change a battery out on pit road as fast as those guys did, and he ended up restarting 19th after the battery got switched, and you couldn't count him out of the race. I mean, he was going through the field.
No,
I mean what?
Dude, look at it. The guy didn't even have a cool suit on. It was 90 freaking degrees out. And you touched on it. Like, yes, Tyler Reddick is a driver of that car, and he's driving that car phenomenally right now. I want people to note this. Do not shy away from his pit road crew either. That crew is going lights out. Like you said, the battery.
Mm-hmm.
The guy pulled into pit road. The guys were handing him ice packs. He's shoving them in his shirt as he's freaking driving. I get it. They were on a restart, but still, like this guy was pulling out all the tricks. If anybody's day could have went to shit, it was Tyler Reddick, and he still won the race.
Yeah. I mean, legitimately, and not just the pit road issues. There was a sequence where Chris Buescher is trying to get down on pit road, and Tyler Reddick just rails like slams into the back of Buescher, and didn't impact his car whatsoever. No. Like nothing, no issues. Like, yeah, there might have been a little front nose damage, but it wasn't like anything of significance.
Yeah, I think Kevin Harvick said, "How does that car not damaged?"
I know. It was absolutely remarkable. And even Busher. I mean, Busher had a little bit of damage, but like Busher, I mean, that car was fine for Busher.
Yeah.
But like I said, with what Reddick is doing this season to start off 2026, right? He's got 4 wins already. He's the points leader. And don't look now. I mean, he's just gaining more and more points each and every single win. 55 points. I mean, this is where it's really going to start killing the field. But he's got an average finish of 4.1. Like 4.1. His worst races of the season, quote unquote, for Tyler Reddick were what? Las Vegas and Phoenix.
Yeah,
Phoenix, he finished in the top 10. He finished 8th. Las Vegas, he finished 13th. Okay, he didn't finish out. He finished outside the top 10. Oh, big deal. Follows it up with a win. No, it's not a conspiracy theory whatsoever. We have all been waiting for Tyler Reddick to break out the way that he was supposed to, right? This was a generational prospect that came through the General Motor Sports Development Program. And when he went to Childress, obviously didn't win in 2020, didn't win in 2021, won 3 races in 2022. Now, I was a little disappointed with the way how he left Childress and went to 23XI on that Team Toyota phone call with Denny Hamlin. Whatever. It's in the past. We move on. But then Reddick in 2023, he wins at COTA. He wins at Kansas. He's a playoff driver. 2024, he wins at Talladega. He wins at Michigan and wins at Homestead. Reddick obviously went winless last year, but so much uncertainty happened within that organization, right? They didn't know if they were going to be a charter team. His son obviously had the issues at the end of the year. What we are witnessing right now from Tyler Reddick is a total redemption tour. And we are starting to see a driver go from a star status driver up to the elite category driver of the sport. This is who we all thought Tyler Reddick was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, there's a lot of races in the past that we can pull up that Reddick probably should have won, but ended up getting caught up in some nonsense. Prime example of that is 2024, actually at this race in 2024. Ends up having a slide job, him and Busher collect. That was the end of his day. Like I said, what I'm seeing from the 45 again, folks, it's a star caliber driver turning into an elite superstar of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And no one should be surprised by this whatsoever, because this is who they build as a championship caliber driver when he was coming up through the Xfinity series and the Truck Series.
Yeah.
So take the tinfoil's hat off. Michael Jordan did not make a backdoor deal with NASCAR that his team was going to win all these races. Because if that was the case, they would have swept all 6 races. Yeah. Bubba Wallace would have had a win in there somewhere, right? The one thing I love about Reddick as a driver too, and it was basically on display this past weekend at Darlington. What makes Reddick so special is that even if he's having everything go wrong in the car, which we saw on Sunday, he's still a threat. And once they fix the car, he goes back on the track and goes up and wins the race.
Mm-hmm.
You see a lot of drivers in the sport that cannot win a race unless every star aligns in the limelight. Every star has to line up perfectly for that driver to win a race. For Reddick, all I see from Reddick in the last 4 wins I've seen from Reddick has been either, if he hasn't dominated the race, shit hit the fan, and guess what happened? Look at Daytona. Qualified horribly, wasn't great in the duels, wasn't great in practice, ends up winning this race because he kept his car clean. At Atlanta, remember, he was in a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a wreck at Atlanta, guys.
Missing a whole quarterfinal.
Bingo. And things could have went wrong. Again, he was able to put himself in a position to win that race. And that's what he did. COTA clearly dominated. Darlington had everything go wrong once again this week. Battery issues. Ends up getting in the back of Busher. Multiple times had to start in the rear of the field. Ends up climbing up through the field. Ends up winning this race. This is who Tyler Reddick was, and this is who he was billed to be when he came over into the Cup Series. Not just that. This is what 23XI expected when they signed him as a driver.
Yep.
So, again, time to take the conspiracy hats off. This is not a rig system. This is not WWE wrestling. Knock it off. You can't, trust me, putting a new battery in the vehicle and not costing yourself time on pit road, that's an immaculate, like you said, it comes down to his pit crew as well. It just
he also had brake issues too.
Yeah, he did. He did. He had everything go wrong on Sunday and still came out on top.
Mm-hmm. And dude, the car still never gained more than like 12.7 volts,
No, I mean,
which was so odd to me, dude. Like, I was like, how the fuck is this battery not dying?
I know. At one point, they actually thought it was an alternator issue too.
Yeah.
So when I look at what Reddick's done, I mean, he's at 4 wins right now. I mean, what does he end the season with?
I don't know, man. At this point, freaking 15.
I mean, he's on pace for 15. He's on pace for 15 wins.
I think if that happens, it's going to go down as one of the greatest NASCAR seasons a driver's ever had.
So they're through 6 weeks already. There's 36 weeks in a Cup Series season. He's got 4 in the first 6. I mean, he's way over. I mean, he's on pace way over 15.
Yeah, way over. Like, you're closer to 20.
Yeah, somewhere around 20. But I don't think he's not going to reach 20.
I wouldn't. No. I'll give him 10 at most.
Yeah, I think it's going to start cool. I think it's going to start evening out. Obviously, we're going to start seeing some of these manufacturers, in my personal opinion, start picking up the slack a little bit. They're going to start zoning in aerodynamics. Everything's going to kind of balance itself out. But hey, if you're Reddick right now, keep knocking these wins off, because that is only going to continuously increase your points lead over second place Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
So, Jake, let's get to question number 1 tonight. Again, you're playing for a Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast koozie.
Let me pull these up. Sorry for the delay. I'm not set up like I should be. But anyway, first question is going to be for tonight. In 2003, Kurt Busch almost won the Spring Darlington race, but lost by 0.02 seconds. Who was the driver that won that race?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, it's one of the promotional. This video is all over the place. They actually played it like multiple times to start the race.
They did.
So, first one to answer on the Blown Ninja chat line, we will 1000% get you a koozie for winning it. So, all right, Jake, let's get to topic number 2 tonight. We talked about Reddick. Let's talk about second place driver and the organization within itself, and that's Brad Keselowski.
Yeah.
And RFK Racing. Do not look now, but RFK Racing is starting to hit stride. I think the one thing that killed me about Tyler Reddick's win, oh man, I wanted Brad so bad.
Yeah, and it's just the fact that his car was so fast that Reddick made it look slow.
I know. It was just like, I mean, Reddick won this race by 5 seconds over Brad Keselowski. But like once Reddick got past Brad, even Brad said he's like, I could not get back to Reddick. I just couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it would have been awesome to see a Brad K win again. He's on a winless streak. But Brad led 142 laps in this race. His teammate Chris Buescher led 42 laps in this race. Ryan Preece didn't lead a lap in this race, but Preece was a fringe top 10 driver all day. But again, it comes back down to what we are seeing from RFK Racing lately. And first of all, Brad ends up, he bumps his average finish with the second place finish at Darlington. He bumps his average finish on the season up to 11.5. Then you got Buescher, who bumped his up to 12.5. And then Ryan Preece is at 14.8 average finish. So all 3 of these drivers right now are in the chase. They are.
Yeah.
And when I look back on what RFK is accomplishing so far this season, last year, all 3 of these guys started off very slow. Brad was the worst out of all of them, right? He didn't pick up his first top 10 until the Coke 600 last year. What Brad Keselowski has done to start the season, here's some of the numbers, right? When I look at Brad, bear with me as I pull up the data. Brad Keselowski finished 5th at Daytona, 17th at Atlanta, 20th at Coda, 15th at Phoenix, but then he finished 10th at Vegas and then 2nd at Darlington. So he's already got 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s to start the season off. Much better improvement from what I've seen from 2025 to 2026. Buescher, again, last year, missed the playoffs. But then this year, he's got a 12.5 average finish. Well, Buescher, when I look at his stats, finished 7th at Daytona, 15th at Atlanta, 24th at Coda, 14th at Phoenix, 6th at Vegas, and 9th at Darlington. So he's got 3 top 10s to start the season off as well. And then when I look at the teammate Ryan Preece with an average finish of 14.8, Preece, to me, again, last year was his best season in the Cup. This year, he's only got one finish below 15th, and that was the 25th at Daytona, where he finished 9th. Then he finished 9th at Atlanta, 18th at Coda, or excuse me, he's got 2 finishes below 15th. I misread that. He finished 18th at Coda and 25th at Daytona, but 9th at Atlanta, 13th at Phoenix, 11th at Vegas, and 13th at Darlington. When I look at those 3 cars, though, you know, Brad and Buescher, I am starting to believe, are starting to gain that race winning speed.
Mm-hmm.
Preece, to me, is starting to gain that speed to continuously finish in the top 10. In this system, that's going to put all 3 of those drivers into the chase format.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I was so upset that Brad didn't win. I was so disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it was something you haven't seen in a while. All 3 of them out 1, 2, 3 for a while. While Reddick was trucking through the pack to the back of the field and getting his way back up there, but he made it up there pretty damn fast.
The one thing I loved about Brad K's race, though, like, you knew he had speed from the start. I mean, that green flag dropped to start the race, and he just kept climbing into the top 3. Then he got around Bubba. Then, obviously, Reddick had his issues on pit road in the first pit cycle, but that's clearly because of the battery and all this type of stuff. Brad ended up, executing on pit road. And that's the other thing, too, about RFK. RFK, when they come down pit road, usually you're notoriously known for at least one pit road mistake a race. And when I mean pit road mistake, you go from like a 10-second pit stop up to like a 12. Brad's pit crew was absolutely on point. Absolutely on point this past week at Darlington. I could not be any more impressed with what I'm seeing out of RFK Racing right now.
Yeah. I mean, I know they were comparing pit times. I know it was when Larson was up front during that race. And they weren't saying Brad's pit stops were bad, but they were like that 0.3, 0.4 slower than Larson's. I mean, Larson's pit crew is phenomenal. They always are. But they were like, oh, this is going to hurt Brad. It's going to hurt Brad. I'm sitting there like, it ain't going to hurt Brad. Look how fast his car is. Larson's ain't got speed compared to him.
Yeah, Brad's car never fell off. Like, I mean, obviously at the end, Reddick passed him, and he just didn't have the speed that Reddick did. And let's call it as is. Nobody had the speed that Reddick did. The only thing stopping Tyler Reddick from this win on Sunday was legitimately his car. Everything else mechanically going wrong. Brad, though, stayed absolutely consistent. And honestly, I thought his car was one of the best in the long runs.
Yes.
When the race kept going green, he just got progressively better off of speed. Buescher, you kind of saw his car kind of fade a little bit. Now, he had to go a little bit off pit strategy because there was that one caution for Riley Herbst where the rest of the field pitted. Buescher was one of the 5 or 6 drivers, if I'm not mistaken, that stayed out. Ended up taking the lead and then obviously tried to basically flip the pit strategy into the field. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out for him because the interval, he was just losing so much intervals during that stretch when he was in the lead. But again, like I look at Ryan Preece, though. Preece was in the top 10 for majority of the day, but then obviously ended up falling down to 13th. His car kind of faded a little bit at the end. But all in all, if you're an RFK fan, an RFK Racing guy, this absolutely is one of those weeks that you circle down and go, yeah, this might be the turning point of going from a top 10 organization to multiple wins in 2026.
Yeah. My question to you when you were watching, do you think Chris Buescher was toying with his boss? Because at one point when they kept saying, is he going to pass him? He's going to pass him. Buescher was faster. And I was surprised he wasn't making the move.
So I think at that point in the race, right, because that was coming to the end of stage 2. I personally think that Buescher was faster than Brad. But the problem I think Buescher faced was he got into the wake and he got into the dirty air. And I don't think I think he could have made the move, but I also think that if he made that move, he knocks both of him and Brad out of the race.
Yeah.
And I think he knew that. And I know that it sounds really weird because his boss was in the lead and, he didn't make the move. But at the same time, it's like he makes that move in turns 3 and 4. Like you could put both those cars in the wall. For what? For a stage win? Yeah, I'd rather be there at the end.
For one extra point?
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather be there at the end. Because remember, stage points don't count for playoff points anymore. They don't transfer. So again, it's like, yeah, they got the stage win, but it's not a playoff point.
No.
So again, if I'm Busher, I think Busher read the room properly. I think he's like, listen, we do have the speed to get around Brad, but the problem is I don't know how to make the pass yet in dirty air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn from this experience while I'm in the dirty air. And if the situation comes about at the end of the race, at least I'm there at the end of the race to go for the win.
Yeah.
So I know everyone was making a big deal of, oh, he's not passing his boss. It's not, no, guys, come on. He's analyzing data to apply it later when the race actually matters at that point. So, but yeah, no, I mean, listen, all in all, great day for RFK Racing. Brad ends up winning stage 1 and stage 2. So yeah, I'm really happy to see RFK Racing do well in this week down in Darlington, especially for the Biff, right? They all had the Biffle side decals and everything.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So like I said, big week out of RFK Racing. Again, if you're an RFK Racing fan, this might be the week to circle and go, hey, you know what? This was the week that we ended up this was the turning point of becoming a top 10 organization to multiple wins in 2026. Now it's going to be very difficult to beat that 45. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Going to be absolutely difficult to beat the 45. So, Jake, let's get to question number 2 this week. So again, you're playing for a Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast koozie if you are listening to us live tonight.
Question 2, we got a short one here. Why is Darlington shaped like an egg? Why is Darlington shaped like an egg?
So in order to win the koozie, all you got to do, Blown Engine chat line, first one to answer the question that Jake just announced, we will be sending out a koozie to you. And we still are looking for an answer from the first question. So you read the first question again.
2003, Kurt Busch almost won the Spring Darlington race, lost by 0.02 seconds. Who was a driver that won that race?
Cool. So both questions still on the board for you to win a koozie tonight. Okay. Let's get to topic number 3 tonight coming out of Darlington. And I feel like this is going to be a continuous topic of conversation each and every single week until we start seeing something from the bow ties.
Yeah. Well, I think this week was a positive week for Chevys.
You do?
Well, here's the thing. I think Larson was up there. I don't know what the fuck he was doing all day, but he did say in the post-race interview he was saving tires, which if you see everybody else not saving tires, why are you saving tires? Was your car not set up right? Were you having tire fall off? Who knows? But no, but I mean, like, if you look at it, like, Byron was pretty consistent. Elliott was pretty good throughout the race. Hocevar was good. Like I said, Larson was up there. I mean, it was a Ford and Toyota day. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory there. But I don't know. Like, I feel like the speed is there. I don't think the car handling is there.
No, I agree with that.
And I think, again, this week in Martinsville, you're gonna. This is another good track that they're gonna have to get data off of. I think it was better than last week. Yeah, Vegas. I think it was a little bit better.
So I think it was better, but I necessarily don't think it was where they need to be. And I agree with you on that statement. I think speed of the Chevrolets is there. The problem is I think the aerodynamics are so screwed up with the new body.
Yeah.
There was 3 Chevrolets in the top 10 this Sunday, right? You had Carson Hocevar, who actually led the Chevy camp with a 4th place finish. Then you had Daniel Suarez, who finished 7th. And then you had William Byron finished 8th. Now, we had multiple Chevrolets in the top 10 at certain points in the race. We had multiple of them fall out of the top 10. Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, prime example of that. Now, Elliott, more so the stupidity of Alan Gustafson, and that's what Jack chimed in and said on the Blown Engine chat line. Alan has to go if Chase wants to go forward. It's starting to look like that, right? That was a stupid move this past week. Larson probably would have locked himself into the top 10 if he didn't have the broken toe link. But then I look at these other Chevrolets, right? Trackhouse Racing. Where are you guys? Like, where is this organization at this point?
Oh, I mean, you got Ross Chastain, which is a mind fuck to me.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks. Vegas
SVG was pretty good. And then Connor Village is just wrecking people. So, I mean, that team's all over the place. But go ahead. I mean, this is a laugh. This is like a laugh for Suarez.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Daniel Suarez, you got to be sitting there going, like, licking your lips right now. You're like, you guys got rid of me. I just finished 7th at Darlington. I mean, Suarez is off to a good start. We'll talk about him in a second. But, yeah, I mean, looking at Trackhouse Racing, SVG finished 14th. Not a bad day in the office. Not a bad day whatsoever. He is progressively, folks, he is progressively getting better in the ovals. Zillage ended up finishing 18th. Chastain finished 16th. But the last couple weeks, like, I'm waiting for Trackhouse Racing to get back into rhythm again because this is an organization that can win races. But at the same time, like, out of all the teams, I think this new aero package screwed up. It was Trackhouse. Yeah. Now I'm going to take Zillage out of the conversation. Zillage is a rookie driver that everyone hyped up to win 10 races this year because he did it at the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. That's a stupid move because that was a stupid point that people made because the learning curve from the Cup to the O'Reilly Auto Parts to the Cup is totally different. There's going to be a rookie wall. Those cars do not run identical to each other anymore. They used to back in the day. They don't now. SVG is getting better on ovals, but then like Chastain, this was a driver in the playoffs last year, right? Like this was a driver that was making noise the last couple of years, and we have not seen Ross Chastain finish in the top 5 since Atlanta. And we've been at some tracks that Chastain's really good at: Coda, Vegas, Darlington. Like I said, not really a fan of what I've seen from Trackhouse Racing. Then I look at a team like Richard Childress Racing. The once was Kyle Busch, once again, finishing 21st. Just running laps at this point. Austin Dillon finished 25th. Both those cars, by the way, folks, started in the top 10. They started in the top 10. Busch started 8th. Austin Dillon just started 10th.
Yeah, and Austin Dillon's kind of had my eyes open this year. He didn't have a bad start.
No, not at all. I mean, he was good for the last 2 weeks, and then he went back to being Austin Dillon again, right? And so, again, what am I seeing from the Chevrolets is I don't know what I'm seeing. I don't know what to expect. Like you said, I got to get more data, but it's like, hey, we're 6 weeks through the season right now, and I haven't seen a bow tie in victory lane yet. I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah, no, I am too. I'll give it to one guy who's kind of been, I feel like, the most consistent. That's William Byron.
Yeah, Byron's just been consistently it feels like Byron's just been consistently knocking off top 10s.
Yeah, which, I mean, is good for the chase points, but I don't know. I think I've heard it from multiple people what's going on with Chevy. Yeah, and I don't really know if you can blame the drivers. I think it's at this point, I'm 100% blaming the car.
It's a manufacturer issue. It's a manufacturer issue. But here's the problem with Chevrolet. Like when Ford changes the body style, I feel like, yeah, they slack off for like 2 weeks and then they're back to being Ford again. Toyota, I feel like, yes, Toyota has changed the body style. I get it. But they've ran the Camry body style now since their existence. And they just don't have the fall off. They just don't. Chevrolet, this is like back in 2018 when they went to the Camaro. They had issues getting in the victory lane. Dillon won the Daytona 500, but then yet again, we didn't see a Chevrolet until Chase Elliott won at Watkins Glen in like race number 22 of that season. 2019, the last time Chevrolet went this long without a victory. The first Chevrolet that got in the victory lane that year was Chase Elliott at Talladega. Like, they have issues when they change the body. They don't grasp the aerodynamics, which is so weird. Mm-hmm. While the other manufacturers, it takes them like a week, and then they're like, okay, I got it. We're good. We're back to normal again.
Yeah, but Chevrolet, I mean, another thing is, like, dude, the car didn't really change that much.
No, it didn't.
Which is crazy to me that they're having this many. Dude, the car barely changed. Like, you put them side by side with the exact same.
It's stupid. I don't understand why it's getting them it's this difficult for them to get this package down. I really don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't. And like, we have a couple short tracks coming up, and we have Kansas and then Talladega. So we're really going to see what the Chevrolets are made of. Because I want to tell you right now, Chevrolet's got to be punching air right now in frustration that their car is not in victory lane. And you got Toyota and, it's been all Toyota essentially, minus Blaney's Ford. But even the Fords, like this past weekend, RFK Racing, Brad had race winning speed. He just didn't have Reddick speed. There's a difference at this point. The Fords, it's mind boggling what is going on with the Chevrolets.
Yep.
Let's go to the Blown Engine chat line. We got a couple of people chiming in here. Doug, he checked in. Thanks for joining us tonight, Doug. He goes, not uncommon in today's NASCAR for manufacturer changes bring one or two to the top and the others drop back. Promotes mediocrity. Look at F1. Keep fans and sponsors engaged. That's a fair point. He also chimed back in again. He goes, you want it to be a level playing field, but NASCAR control of the cars creates the difference. That is very true.
Yep.
This is why I legitimately hate this new car. Because everything, what was the biggest issue? You have to buy NASCAR supply parts.
Yep.
You want people back in NASCAR and like you want people excited about the sport again. If you run a Chevrolet, every piece of equipment needs to come from General Motors. If you run a Ford, every piece of equipment needs to come to Ford or from Ford. Same with Toyota.
Yeah, can we go back to the 80s where you built your own damn car? Where drivers help wrench?
Then I mean that would change a lot of perspectives on that. I mean, I'm tired of like I just want them to go back to manufactured issued parts. That's what I want.
Yeah, like dude, when you go to the store and change your own fucking oil, I ain't gonna go buy a Fran filter. I'm buying an AC Delco filter. I drive a fucking GM. Like I like what is this?
You don't want a Bill France filter? I think they're pretty good. No,
no. I'm an OEM. If it is a Chevy, it gets a Chevy. If it is a Dodge, it gets a Dodge, and so on and so forth. Like it's just Dodge gets Mopar, GM gets GM, Ford gets Motorcraft. Like it's a manufacturer for a reason. That's the manufacturer came out with that and built a car with that for a reason.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see the OEM parts that there's designed that I can get in the dealership back on the cars. I do. Now, granted, we're not going to get. It's not going to be the 80s again. It's just not.
No.
But like again though, like make it the parts that the manufacturer makes. Please, just go back to that. Stop with this NASCAR demanded parts.
That's why people,
I do want to go.
People love the saying "NASCAR die with Dale."
Yeah, I hate when people say that, but I mean, I can't argue.
But this is a good point that you can't argue.
You can't. I do want to go back to the point that Doug made on the Blown Engine chat line. He goes, promotes mediocrity. Look at F1. Totally agree. I totally agree. And where I will say this, I feel like NASCAR got so scared with F1's viewership going up in the country that they wanted to be so much like F1. But here's the difference between F1 and NASCAR. And Jake, you know how much I hate F1. I hate F1 fans. I think they're arrogant. There is nothing worse than watching a race with a 21-second follow the leader interval and then being asked on the broadcast, oh, who's the driver of the day? I don't know. The one that's leading 21 seconds. That's the driver of the day. Knock it off. But they're so scared of losing the fans to F1 because F1's cool right now. Well, guess what? If you just put a high horsepower product back to OEM parts and let them beat and bang on a track, guess who's coming back? I'm just saying.
I mean, I still to this day am waiting for an F1 fan to come on here or just run into me somewhere and tell me what is so interesting about watching cars follow each other and the same person lead every single lap.
Well, it's very interesting too.
Just tell me, because you can't even pass each other because these things are fucking rocket ships. They're huge.
Yeah.
They don't get me wrong. The car's cool. What goes into the cars are cool. They're fast. I like fast stuff. Besides that, what am I watching? Like, dude, I turn it on. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what are all these numbers on the screen? Like, what do they even mean?
It's not an entertaining sport.
It's not.
To kill the F1 conversation that's better than NASCAR, I'm going to tell all the F1 fans, and you can roast me. I don't care. You guys only like the sport because Netflix made a cool documentary for you guys. Before the documentary, you guys didn't even know who any of those guys were. None of them. Maybe Lewis Hamilton because he was winning a lot. That was it. And also, final point on that, there's a reason why those drivers won't come to NASCAR. They're scared. They are straight up scared.
Yeah.
And how many
I'd rather watch
F1
horse racing.
How many F1 drivers came past their prime? Like the Iceman came over and he's like, this sport's ridiculous. This sport is nuts. Like, there's a reason why.
Yep.
Doug checked back in on the Blown Engine chat line. He goes, it's no different than any other sport. Mediocrity creates money, period. And I totally agree with that. I had a good conversation with my dad about this, about sports in general. I know we're really going down the rabbit hole, but I was talking to my dad about this, about sports in general. I think the best time for sports in all leagues, NFL, MLB, NHL, and NBA, NASCAR, any sport, the best time for him was the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yep.
You had the innovation, you had the changing of the innovations of the offenses and the racing, but then you also had the old school mentality with it. We didn't have rules packages that protected players or drivers and for winning and making it look cool for gambling. I think gambling screwed sports up. I really do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Gambling screwed everything up. Fantasy sports screwed everything up. And this is a topic conversation all across the board. And this includes NASCAR too. Fantasy NASCAR is huge. They make a lot of money off of it. They do. They want drivers that can win.
That's when you put all of your eggs in one basket and just let like the NFL rule everything, NASCAR make the rules for everything, MLB make the rules, NHL make the rules. I mean, I actually got to keep NHL out because that sport's actually still good.
I agree.
NBA, like when you give these associations all of the power, this is what you get.
Yeah,
this is what you get.
Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
And owners can't do shit. And it's the same thing in NASCAR. You speak the fuck up, you get smacked around. Yeah, you're in a lawsuit. Yep. You get smacked around, and you don't hear nothing from them.
Yep.
Because it's like, oh, keep your mouth shut, I'll take your charter, basically. Like it's just, or I'll see you in court.
Yep.
That's what happens when people have control, and that's why NASCAR's been getting. That's why people have been calling NASCAR a monopoly for years for now.
So to kind of wrap up our final point, because we did go down the rabbit hole there with everything said.
That was a good topic, though.
In regards to Chevrolet, though, yes, I am absolutely concerned. We go to Martinsville. A lot of those Chevrolet drivers should be really good. It's the Hendrick Playhouse. If we come out of Martinsville and you going into the Easter break, because after Martinsville we have Easter. We go into the Easter break and they still haven't found Victory Lane. I'm really concerned. Now I'm really concerned. Because if you have only 2 to 3 cars in the top 10 at Martinsville, really no laps led that whole entire time, yeah, you got a problem.
Yeah.
So, Jake, before we get to question number 3 tonight, we did have a couple answers on the last 2 questions. Doug checked in about the question on why it's shaped like an egg. He said there's a pond off the turn preventing the oval. Absolutely correct. We'll get you a koozie. And Jack ended up chiming in for the answer. Ricky Craven was the one that beat Kurt Busch to the line. And like I said, that's probably one of the most memorable Darlington races ever. That was, I remember watching that live, and I was like, did I just witness what I just saw?
That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Ricky Craven, yeah. Long-time NASCAR analysis, too. He was really good, and then he retired. It's a shame. We need people like Ricky Craven back. We do. Yeah, he was really good. But let's get to question number 3.
Question number 3. 2022, who was a driver that parked his wrecked car in between pit road and the entrance to the garage? I actually do remember that. Like it was yesterday, actually.
Yep. Oh, man. One of the best moments.
I remember that.
Darlington. One of the best moments at Darlington. So we're playing for question number 3. 2 koozies already off the board. Chime in to the final question that Jake just announced on air. And first one to answer on the blend end chat line, you get a koozie. So we kind of touched on it. We were talking a little bit about with Chevrolets, but let's talk about Spire Motorsports a little bit. All right. I'm going to open up the topic to you because you were a little disappointed on the one driver racing a certain throwback.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like Spire Motorsports. I like kind of where they're going. I think they're getting better and better. I like having more competition on the track every week. But who in their right mind said that Chili's can be like, oh yeah, let's throw Dale Earnhardt throwback from the 80s on the 77 car? I'm not against bringing the throwback back. Awesome. I know Dale Earnhardt Jr. said that he liked it. He was excited for it. He loved it. Pick anybody but the guy you put it on his car. A guy that everybody's comparing Dale Earnhardt to. You said it last week. Dale wins. Hocevar don't. I mean, that's cool and all that Dale liked it. Dale's a Hocevar fan. Not taking any shots at him for that, but dude, don't put it on that fucking 77 car. I'd rather you have put it on freaking, I don't know, Corey Hine. Like,
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch.
That's
Yeah,
where I should have
like,
went. Yeah.
or dude, put it on Austin Dillon's car. You know, like, make it something of value. I'm not saying that it wasn't valued. Carson Hocevar did have a good day, whatever. One and done. But, like, the guy's got a fucking nickname. The guy's got Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s throwback. Like, what's the next thing this guy's going to get? A walk to victory lane?
Good wrench.
Yeah, good. Yeah, they're going to put, yeah. Oh, boy, I'll lose my fucking marbles. Or what are they going to put? The Budweiser car on his car because he's such a freaking Earnhardt fan? Like, come on.
So
It's just like, you can argue with me all day. I'll never fucking agree with you. He was the wrong driver to put it on his car. The car looked great. I'll give them props on that. The car looked awesome. I loved it. Throwback was cool. Go with the guy who was driving it. That's just my opinion. I'm going to stick with that opinion. You don't like it? You don't like it. I got shit for it on TikTok, and I don't give a crap.
So my whole thing is that, like, I did not realize how in tune Dale Jr. was with Carson Hocevar. Jr. actually did come out. On our TikTok, we actually had fans that made the comment. I ended up looking it up because you never know what you believe on the internet. Dale Jr. did say that Carson Hocevar does remind him of his dad. And with that balls to the wall mentality and all that type of stuff. So where I agree with you, I am tired of the Hocevar is the next Dale Sr. nonsense. And I get it. It's not Hocevar saying it himself. It's fans. But guys, come on. Like, yes, he's got the same mentality, but the difference was Earnhardt won. And like, if Hocevar goes, and like, again, Hocevar is only 23 years old. Hocevar has a lot of racing left in his career. Hocevar could end up winning, let's just say 60 races. He could do that. I don't know. I'm not going to deem him the next Dale. Now, I will love him if he ends up winning, 5 races a season. I would absolutely, because then I'm like, okay, this is Dale Earnhardt. This is Dale Earnhardt because he got the mentality of it. Now he's winning races. But right now, he has created a lot of enemies on the track that will not let him get in the victory lane. But I do got to give the man roses. I got to give my man credit here. With Carson Hocevar, you're running that throwback. You know that you were going to be, people in the audience were going to hate you for that throwback. Carson Hocevar did finish 4th in this race. He went through the field multiple times. He ended up starting in the rear of the field. Now, granted, I prematurely sent you a text in the beginning of the race. I said, great throwback to run 28th in this race. Well, I was completely wrong. He ended up finishing this race in 4th. He ended up having a really good pit strategy at the end of this race. He was the last one to get tires on the car and just rip through the field. Now, part of me was kind of rooting for a caution. Because if they re-racked that field, you damn well know that 77 was going to cause havoc.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You knew he was going to. But at the same time, like I said, I'll give the man roses this week. And honestly, Spire in general right now. Daniel Suarez and Carson Hocevar. Hocevar finished 4th, but don't forget that Daniel Suarez finished this race in 7th.
Yeah.
This is not one of Daniel Suarez's best tracks. Started this race 11th, finished 7th. He was a top 10 car pretty much the whole entire day. Finished stage 1 in 9th, finished stage 2 in 10th. Both these Spire cars are right now in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
Hocevar's got an average finish of 16.5. And then you got Suarez, who's got an average finish of 16.3. So Suarez is a little bit better than Hocevar. A little bit better. Not by much, but a little bit. I like what I see out of Spire Motorsports. And I'm hoping that Spire, like you said, more competition on the track. I'm hoping that they're able to take it to the next level. And even last year, when I did defend Carson Hocevar, right now I'm not defending him because I'm just annoyed and tired of the Earnhardt comparison. I'm just tired of it.
Yes.
I need to see that car in the victory lane before I get excited about it. Enough.
Yeah, and I mean, because I want to answer the comment that was just put on, but He has a nickname, the Hurricane, because when a hurricane comes through, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't. You really don't.
Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s nickname was the Intimidator. No one's intimidated by Carson Hocevar. And I'm
Not
not
yet.
trying to shit on the guy. Like, I'm not a fan of him. I don't root for him. I'm not hating on him because he had that paint scheme. I get it. And it kind of goes into the comment if you want to put it up. But I just don't think it was the best. And Doug says perhaps he has enough fan base and a social backing with Junior that the sponsors listen. Advertising is about exposure. They didn't advertise that car once on Sunday.
Not until the end. Not until the end. When
Not
he was in
until
the
the
top, when he was in the top 5. I mean, when he was rolling through the top 10. Now that's the one thing I was a little bit disappointed with. Well, on Fox's coverage, while I did love seeing Brad Keselowski out in the lead and having the camera on him the whole entire day, Carson Hocevar at the end of this race, you knew when Reddick got around Brad Keselowski, you knew that Brad was going to catch him. They still kept the camera on Reddick. Where Hocevar, they were talking, it's here comes Hocevar through the field. And it's well, I would have loved to see what he just did with the last 15 passes.
Yeah, dude, if he ran around 20th like you and me were talking about during the race, that car would have been shown one time.
Yeah, I mean, I think they showed it maybe early in the race twice, and that's because he was coming through the field from the back of the pack. Now, and then they I think it was middle of stage 2, they did another camera angle on him, and it was just and here's Hocevar running the Dale Earnhardt throwback scheme, even though it's not throwback weekend. They did something like that, but that was pretty much it until the last 20 laps of the race.
Yeah, and he does have a huge fan base, and he's really big on social media because he does streaming where he races. He's got a big following. I'm not knocking the dude.
We tried to get him on air.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the people who are fans of him. That's awesome. I mean, dude, Kyle Larson was a nobody really until he joined Hendrick. He got a huge following,
and
it's just kind of how it works. And then it kind of just dies off. I mean, you're a fan of who you want to be a fan of, and you stick with that who you want to stick with it. But I mean, yeah, he has the fan base. He's got a social media backing. And okay, yeah, Junior's talking about him a lot. Wow, I'm nothing against Junior, but it's this guy hasn't done anything to impress me.
He's got to win, and it comes back down. He's got to win, Jake. And yes, he's come up. They're always going to go, well, he's come up so close, right? Texas and last year, Texas, Coke 600. He's come close, and then he always has a mechanical issue when he's coming up close, or they don't put in. I need this team to win soon, and then maybe I can start going. You know what? I can see what everyone's seeing, but until and everyone's going to be, well, Inspire Motorsports, man. He's not going to go into victory. Well, you guys continue to talk about how close he is to winning Inspire Motorsports equipment. He hasn't won yet. Dale, and we had a fan on TikTok literally tell me, well, Dale struggled the first couple of years of driving. Dale Sr., his first full-time season of driving in 1979, won Bristol in the spring. In his first full-time season. And then won the championship in 1980. Now, granted, Hocevar's 23 years old. He's got time to grow. But we need to pump the brakes. Like you said, the nickname of the Hurricane, yeah, it's cute and it's funny for the first 2 weeks. But when he's wrecking everybody in the field and not winning, it'd be one thing. I guess for me, if you wreck Bell at Atlanta and ends up winning the race, okay, totally different. You won the race. I'm happy for you. Now it's okay, this is exciting.
Yeah.
But for a car that comes in the top 5 once every 6 races, yeah, wrecking the field's pretty difficult. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I get nervous when he's up front because he's going to take out the guys who are actually running good. I'm not saying he's not running good. I mean, you're up front for a reason. I mean, you made yourself up there, but I get nervous, man. I get nervous.
I think everyone does.
I'm like, what would have happened? This guy would have caught Reddick. I was like, fucking send him. Adios.
Well, that's why I kind of wanted a caution. I wanted a caution at the end of the race. See what that 77 would have done. But all in all, in general, though, Spire Motorsports, I have to say this. Spire Motorsports has been very impressive to me to start the season off. And to their best driver going into the season, obviously, was Hocevar. But a lot of people were talking about Michael McDowell. McDowell right now sits 17th in the points. His teammates of Suarez and Hocevar. Hocevar is 13th in the points. Suarez is 14th in the points.
Yeah,
know,
it's
like,
not bad for that team.
Yeah, kind of going back to the point too. Like if you're Daniel Suarez, got to be pretty excited about where your organization's at right now instead of the organization you just left.
Yeah.
Trackhouse is falling backwards. Spire's moving up. Couple comments came in on the blended chat line. Let's get over to them. Doug checked in. One rookie of the year. Yep, he did. Carson Hocevar did. And checked back in again. He said that's what Senior did. He was hated by other drivers. Yeah, I mean, I
Hated
no,
by
definitely.
other drivers, but winning.
That's the difference. If winning.
You can
Winning.
hate me all you want, but beat me. Coach Hocevar has nothing to back it with why people don't like him.
So I do have a question, kind of going off the Dale Senior. What is the greatest Dale Senior moment?
I mean, I'll let my dad freaking answer that one.
I think it's Bristol with Terry Labonte. It's just always the best interview when he's like, I didn't mean to spin him. I meant to rattle his cage.
No, I mean, you can't beat that saying. I mean, that's an iconic saying right there.
I do. I mean,
I want to see I want to see what his favorite Dale Earnhardt Sr. Moment was.
I will say, back in the 80s, him and Tim Richmond going back and forth at Riverside was always entertaining.
I probably know one of his greatest moments, and it wasn't even when he was racing. I'll just say the story real quick. They were, I believe, at Pocono, him and my grandfather.
Yeah.
And they were on pit road, and they were at the wall, and Dale Sr. comes walking up, just taps my grandfather on the shoulder. Excuse me, can I get over there? And my dad's like, my grandfather's like, my dad's like, do you know who that was? That was Dale Sr. I guarantee that's probably what he's one of the ones that he probably thinks was the coolest. But on track, I gotta hear on track. It's his favorite moment.
If you're tuning us live right now, feel free to type in your favorite Dale Senior moment.
There it is.
Down that topic. Passing the grass. Him and Elliott, Charlotte. It's a good one. It's a good one. But was it really passing the grass? No, I'm kidding. I'm not even starting that conversation. I'm not starting that conversation.
Jack had a good one too. I've seen that video multiple times.
Yeah, Dega when he rolled and got back in the car to drive it. Yeah, that's a good one too. There's a lot. I mean, I could watch Dale Senior highlights like crazy.
Oh my god!
Like, again, kind of wrapping back in the Hocevar and the whole Dale Senior comments. If Hocevar starts winning, then I can absolutely start taking it serious. Yeah. Then all the stuff of him wrecking people is fun. Then that's fun. That's fun. You gotta win. You gotta win. So
that's why I can't be mad at Tyler Reddick for freaking hitting Busher. He won the race. I think it was a shit move, but yeah, I won the race. You know?
Yeah. I mean, well, and like even they were even like, whoa, Busher didn't put his hand out the window. It's like, guys, that's not a Cup Series. That's not a Cup
No,
series
we're in the Cup Series. We don't. You don't got to tell people when you're going to pits. Figure it out.
No, we're not giving up our strategy.
Yeah, get yourself down to the bottom of the apron and get yourself in the pit road. I don't got to be like, I'm going in. We're not in no O'Reilly Park Series here. Come on.
Yeah, or we're not on super speedways. So
no.
But all right, let's get to our final point this weekend. Final topic question to you, question to the audience. Biggest winner and biggest loser coming out of Darlington this week.
Well, I'm gonna say my biggest winner/winners is RFK. I think that's pretty easy to say. I mean, obviously, you got a biggest winner. Obviously, it's Tyler Reddick. 4 wins. The guy's on a hot streak. We've talked about him too much, so I'm putting my roses somewhere else. RFK. And we already talked about it. I think, again, another week, I think my driver that was the biggest loser was Larson, but Chevy's as a whole. Biggest loser again. I think Chevy as a whole was the biggest losers, but Larson was the biggest loser that on Sunday. It's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks now. I've said that guy's name is the biggest loser.
Yeah, that's big for you. I'm really proud of you on that. I'm proud of you. Like you're coming. Broken toe link. I mean, basically killed a top 10 day. Biggest winner for me coming out of Darlington this week, Eric Jones. Not surprised that he got a top 10 this week, but finished this race in 10th, started 24th. I was expecting really fast in practice. I don't know what happened in qualifying, but not to mention he was also involved in a wreck with Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace. So I got to give credit to where credit's due. Legacy, there's been a lot of talks of them going to a 3-car operation. I was not a fan of the move last week, but again, hey, good momentum for Eric Jones and Legacy Motor Club. I really liked seeing where they were at. No surprise at Darlington. He's just really good at Darlington. But yeah, I mean, hey, this could be one of those momentum type of finishes for Legacy Motor Club where it's like, hey, you just continue rolling these top 10s. Biggest loser this week for me, Jake, is I'm going to stick in the Hendrick camp, and I'm going to Chase Elliott.
Okay.
And I kind of opened up the segment or the show a little bit talking about how stupid of a move it was for Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott late in the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason, first of all, why are you staying out 15 laps past the leader's pin? You were losing intervals in that second, right? You were a top 6 car. You end up falling down the 8th, and then you guys decide, hey, you know what? We were losing intervals. We almost fell at the top 10. Why don't we stay on pit? Why don't we stay out on strategy?
And just lose seconds fast.
I mean, seconds. It killed Chase Elliott's day, that move from being a top 10 car. Let's call it as this. He qualified 3rd, but he was realistically 6th through 8th on the in speed. That's where he really was. But you go from a top 10 car to, yeah, we just tanked our day. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish. Trying to get a caution? That race had no cautions. They had 2 cautions for incident. That was it.
Yeah, you really don't see cautions really often there either.
Yeah, you were again, the intervals when you were out just kept going down and down and down, and it's like he was lucky he didn't go a lap down. I thought for a second when he came out pit road, I'm like, there's no way he's not going a lap down. Well, he didn't go a lap down, but what an idiotic decision by Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott.
Yeah,
that's my biggest loser this week with him and his stupid pit strategy.
I like your biggest winner too. I totally forgot about Eric Jones.
Yeah,
I know I texted you. I'm like, that's a total like Denny Hamlin needs to get punched in the face when he fucking hit him like that.
Yeah,
that was a dipshit fucking move by Denny Hamlin.
So one point, Doug checked in about a loser this week. Joey Logano being a non-factor.
He was nothing.
Nothing. Like,
finished
this race 33rd. And
stayed there the entire day.
Yeah, I mean, let's call it as is. If Bubba Wallace does not have that issue in wrecks, Bubba Wallace doesn't finish 34th. Riley Herbst ended up wrecking, so he finished 35th. Like, the only 2 cars that Joey Logano was better than was Cody Ware and Timmy Hill. And Timmy Hill was in the garage. And Cody Ware, Cody Ware's pit stops are like 28 seconds. Like, Joey Logano was an absolute disgrace on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's one of those that, like, hopefully the 22 looks back on. And, like, it killed him in the points. It literally killed him. I mean, he's now on the fringe of the chase cut. Yeah, he sits 16th. He went in this race at 11th. That is a bad day in the office for the 22. Yeah. Unexpected. Okay, cool. It takes us to Green and White Checker tonight on the show, or on the Darlington conversation. So a lot of good conversation with a lot of the fans tonight on the show or in the episode. Let's get into. We now head down to the paperclip. Martin.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so in the preseason, Jake, let's get to our picks. In the preseason, you ended up going with Chase Elliott, and actually we double dipped on Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it.
Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going Chase Elliott too. I think that this week is finally the week that the Chevrolets wake up.
Yeah,
I think it's Hendrick Motorsports really good at this track. In the next gen car, they've been really good at this track. Chase Elliott's kind of due for that victory. We're waiting for it. I think it comes this week at Martinsville. According to driveraverages.com, since the start of 2023. Now, remember, his first race back in 2023 from the broken leg with the ski incident was Martinsville. Mm-hmm. He has an average finish of 6.5 with 4 top 5 or 4 top 10 top 5s and 5 top 10s. Excuse me, tongue twister time. Yeah, I like Chase.
He's never won here, man.
He's won here. He just hasn't won in this car.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he won the.
That's what
race.
I meant. That's what I meant.
Yeah. But the thing about Chase Elliott, I like about Chase Elliott a lot. Right now, he sits 4th in laps led among active drivers with 11.7% of the laps led in those races. So his car is in the front. And the one thing I like about Chase Elliott, when I've seen from Chase Elliott, his qualifying's been really good this year.
Yes.
So he has been starting in the front. So if he can get into the front, start in the front, this could be a tough day for the field with Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I don't really think he's going to have to worry about his teammate Larson because, I mean, he's going to have to qualify really early. So,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Alan Gustafson doesn't do anything stupid.
yeah.
All right, ones to watch.
I'm going to say I want to keep another eye on Ryan Preece this week.
Ooh, Priest is a good one. Short track racer too.
Mm-hmm.
He's won a stage here in this next gen car.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on him. That's going to keep my eye on him.
So Priest has 11.8 average finish since the start of 2023 with 3 top 10s and 5. Yeah, he's led 5% of the laps in these races. So short track racer, I like it. RFK is starting to pick up a little bit of speed here. This could be a good week for him.
Yeah.
The one to watch for me is going to be Ryan Blaney. Can't talk about Martinsville without Ryan Blaney. 4.5 average finish since the start of 2023. He's got 2 wins, both of them coming in the fall. 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 13% of the laps led. Now, the one thing that's interesting though too is a lot of these averages that we're talking about, they haven't ran the 750 package yet on this track. So it's going to be a different dynamic in the game. But I'm going with guys who lead a lot of the laps in Martinsville. And right now, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, those are my 2 choices. And then Jake, he goes with Chase Elliott and Ryan Preece. Now, how about a dark horse?
You're going to look at me like I got 10 heads when I say this guy's name, and it's only because he's racing really well. And he's actually not horrible at short tracks. Ty Gibbs.
Oh, there we go. Just waiting for that. Look, Toyota's really good right now. It's very hard to bet against Toyota.
Ty Gibbs isn't statistically good here, but I mean, the kid's been racing really good. And
yeah,
he does dirt racing. I mean, he's used to short track racing, but I don't know.
Another top 5 this past weekend at Darlington. You can't overlook it. When cars sit in the front and you continue putting that car in the front, guess what happens? You're going to find victory lane. That door's going to get knocked down. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah. Really
didn't think that hard into Ty Gibbs, but my dark horse this week is going to be Todd Gilliland. Gilliland since the start of 2023. Since the start of 2023, Gilliland's got a 15.5 average finish with 3 top 10s. So he finds himself in the top 10 a lot this track.
Yeah.
50% of the time. I think Gilliland, I mean, listen, front row needs one of those conspiracy wins. I'm just saying. They were in that lawsuit, just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe NASCAR can hand them that conspiracy win this week down in Martinsville. All right. Checking in on the Blend Edge chat line before we sign off tonight. Doug, he checked in one last time tonight. He goes, how much will the new package impact Martinsville? It's a good question. 750 package. I mean, flat turns, you're probably expecting a lot of tire fall off. Martinsville has always been a single file line race. It's always been single, it's always been a low line. I know Chase Elliott, sometimes he'll diamond cut it. Ryan Blaney's picked that skill up really quickly, but they like to stay low. Now, I do think with the 750 package, I think that doing that low line and the diamond cuts, I think it's going to eat tires. But last week at Darlington, I expected a lot more from the tire wear. I really did.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting weekend to see if the package does change the tire.
Yeah.
I just want to see tire fall off, man. I want to see tire fall off.
I agree with you with that. And I know at Martinsville, the only way to pass is a bump and run, but I think you see a lot more of it. And I honestly think, dude, with a 750 package, I would not be surprised if the top line in turns isn't as slow as what it used to be. Like when you're going in and you got guys on that top line, and usually you're just a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just making a conspiracy theory. I don't know. I'm just predicting. Maybe that second line is like, oh, maybe you still have the same amount of speed. Who knows?
Well, I mean, if you're going to the top line, I mean, in the 750, I think you're going to have the speed, right? You're going to have the speed at the top. The problem is do you want to stay at the top for that long?
Exactly.
Because you are just running even on a flatter surface. And, you're putting more torque on those tires.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
And it's got to be people also have got to be running it with you. You're up there by yourself. You're just going to keep getting passed.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on those tires at the top line. Now, I don't think there's going to be a lot of fall off like in years past. Like, remember, like over the last couple of years, it's green flag drops. It's okay if you're on the outside line, I got to get down as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't get a pass, I got to get down as fast as I can. I think that you could probably go 3 to 5 laps on the top line. I think you can.
Yeah.
But I also think that you're going to destroy your tires and you're going to be pitting a lot quicker than the bottom line.
Yeah. You might see a little bit faster lap times too.
I hope so. I mean, this
I mean,
past
not
weekend at Darlington,
tragic different, but I mean, you're getting 80 more horsepower than what you're used to having. So
So the thing with Darlington, though, like you had faster lap times, but during the practice when they were out there for a lot longer, I mean, you saw the times fall off really quickly.
Yeah.
So that's the whole problem. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It actually is going to be an interesting race. It really is. I mean, are you willing to risk it the high line? Are you?
Yeah.
And maybe with the 750 package, you might be. But who knows? You might.
I'm curious to see how it does this week.
I just want tire fall off. If you have a lot of tire fall off, that's going to make for a very fun race. Give me Bristol Spring 2024, baby. Give me that tire. Like, go to Threads. Please go to Threads.
Yeah.
I want a total tire management race. I thought we were going to get that at Darlington, but we didn't.
No, we did not. I mean, we might get shocked again this week.
Yeah, who knows? It might be a low line race the whole entire time. But one last comment, Jake, before we sign off. Could brakes become the issue?
I think you're going to see a lot of red glowing rotors.
Mm-hmm. You saw it a lot in the lesser package.
Yeah.
In the 650, what they used to run, 650,
670.
670. Yeah, they ran the 670. So yeah, I mean,
I think you're going to see a lot of glowing rotors.
I think so too. I think this actually could be one of the best races of the season.
Yeah, this could see multiple cars with brake problems.
Oh yeah. Man, God, just give me. You want to do something funny, NASCAR? Do an 850 package, please.
Oh my God!
Do an 850 package.
Holy shit! It'd be going around there like a rocket ship. Zoom, zoom. That race would be over in 2 hours.
Yeah, but give me an 850 package, please. That'll change the whole dynamic. There's your tires, there's your brakes, all that type of stuff. Awesome. Well, appreciate everyone chiming in on the Blown Engine chat line. It's going to take us to check our flag tonight on tonight's episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Appreciate everyone tuning in, chiming in. We got some koozie giveaways. We'll definitely be sending them out. Again, thanks for everyone chiming in tonight. If you love what you're hearing, follow us on Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast, YouTube at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. If you miss our live stream on Wednesday nights, follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We'll have tonight's episode posted on those channels for your listening viewership. And make sure you follow and smash the like button on all of it. Also, if you listen to us on our Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio platforms, feel free to give us a review. Feel free to give us a review. Do you have an opportunity? You listen to an episode, full episode, give us a 5-star, or if you hate us that much, give us a 1-star. We love to hear your feedback. With all that being said, Jake, and we also have TikTok.
Oh, yes.
We do have TikTok at the Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. If you're on TikTok, follow us on at the Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. We get real fun conversations going on over there. We have a lot of fun videos. We post up a lot of the fun clips during the episode. We'll post it on our TikTok page. Jake likes to start fights with Carson, host of our fans. Love to see it. But yeah, we are live on TikTok as well. So with all of that stuff being said, appreciate all the love and the support. We got one more week until the Easter break. And if you're going to Martinsville this week, have fun, eat as many hot dogs as possible. If you're not, enjoy the show or the race wherever you're watching. And with all that being said, we'll be live next Wednesday here on YouTube and Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. Tune in to our thoughts after Martinsville. Have a wonderful race weekend. Be safe. Have fun. We'll talk next week. Good night.
Slammed you, he didn't bump you, he didn't nudge you, he rubbed you. And rubbing